Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler, also known as the Ches, and this is Chezzy Tunes, where I try to bring humor and entertainment to the EDM space. And today we're back with some more Splitter. Oh. Today we're going to be listening to runThis. For those of you that have been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I stumbled upon Splitter after starting this channel. I've since done reactions to almost everything Splitter has put out since then, and have become a very big fan. But much to my and many others' surprise, the Splitter alias has now been retired, and we have been given a new alias in the form of runThis. So Splitter has moved on, has evolved, and has now become runThis. Now, I have heard 1.5 songs from the runThis alias, both of which were in the basshouse genre, sort of Knock2 inspired sound. So we're definitely getting something much different than the Splitter sort of dubsteppy, jazzed infused music we were getting before. And I'll even put this on screen because runThis kind of added some context behind the genre that has been presented with this new alias. You can pause and read it yourself if you're interested. But I'm very excited to see the fully realized vision of this alias with the debut EP from runThis. This is Ultimate, a 6-track EP that we are going to take ourselves through and hopefully enjoy. Real quick before we get started though, I do want to let you know that I've been running some tune challenges in my Discord. You may have seen the Skrillex remix competition that has already been put on the YouTube, but we have another one currently going on and we'll continue to do more in the future. So if you're a producer and are interested in joining in on some competitions, consider joining the Discord. Links below. Let's get into this thing, shall we? The first track is To the Stars with willowind. Bring me into this alias. Bring me into this world. Okay, that's what I want. Break it down. That's me. I want more. I can do that. I want more! Guitar? Oh. I'm getting a good energy from it. I love the much more subtle build into this thing that we're getting for an intro track. Still got lots of samples, good energy. There's still some semblance of what I liked about Splitter in this, which I really like. So let's bring it home. Give me the drop. Oh. Oh. Okay. Clean production and percussion. Clean percussion. So we're not getting just bass house in. That's good. I'm glad there's still going to be some diversity. Creativity. Oh. I'm dancing. And we still got a little bit of bongos in there, so you know. I'm into it. I'm sold. How many bongos are in this EP? Please give me a number. That's how I gauge if my interest in the music. I give this EP a 7 out of 10 bongos so far. Also not familiar with willowind, but is this willowind or is this you? Is this runThis? I don't know. I don't know what anyone's voice sounds like. Something I like about this song in particular is we've got sort of...
You are now listening to runThis. Oh my God.
Oh my God, runThis. Yes, runThis music. I was gonna say that, that last section was extremely short, so you could barely count it, but at least 2 of the main pieces of the drop were completely different styles, different speeds, different genres. Because one thing I really admired about the Splitter alias is how some of the songs were so lively and changed so much throughout. You would get completely different ends of the spectrum as you're traveling through a song, or at least traveling through an EP. It was a journey. And so even though runThis has communicated that like the idea for this alias, the music being made through this alias, should be a little more digestible, should be a little more suited for being played live and probably just more appealing to the masses. I'm glad that it's not just locked into one style, one sound. We're still getting that diversity. I mean, we're only one track deep, but I'm glad that even that track displays some variety within it. So that's good. Next up is getnawty, which I did hear. I haven't gone back to it much because I've just been very busy, but I know this one is more of the bass house style, which is cool with me. Let's go.
Gotta level up, gotta get naughty.
This one brings back the good old synths, that synth work that I love. But I am very excited to see where we go with this, with runThis, see where we go with runThis. Yes, there you go. I'm excited for whatever you want to do, whatever possesses you, whatever fuels your creativity. We'll give it some bounce. We'll stand up. I haven't been standing much today. This gonna be me in the club, baby. That's gonna be me in the club. Because I would say we're definitely 2 for 2 when it comes to what you're going for. Like the average listener, the average club environment, they're gonna react better to these songs than they would the Splitter track. Splitter, the Alias. Sorry, had to, you gotta let the drop do its thing. The Splitter Alias definitely lends itself to a more niche audience, but the people in that audience are gonna really resonate with it. But I do understand the desire to branch out and appeal to more people. So I will say, hearing this initially, hearing getnawty initially had me a little worried, just given that bass house felt like a more narrow genre, assuming that's what this is. Again, I suck at genres, but whatever this genre is. And so I was worried, especially because I had heard, we'll talk about it in a second, but since I had heard an early version of Hot Girl Summer, and I know that was a similar vibe, I was worried that the runThis alias was gonna be in a box or have at least a little more constraint if you stuck with just that genre. Because obviously we've seen Knock2 and isoxo and stuff, what they can do with that genre. And obviously they're very good at it, especially Knock2, like kind of pioneering that genre. I was just worried that it was gonna be a little limiting in a way, or get too sort of mainstream sounding and therefore have less flair. So I was worried, but like I said, with To the Stars, it's already proved that there is gonna be a little more reach going on, a little more expansiveness going on. You aren't in this box. I just didn't see the full vision, and I'm sorry for ever doubting you. But as I alluded to, I heard an earlier version of Hot Girl Summer. I did a stream on the YouTube where people could submit their tracks, whether stuff they actually released or a work in progress or what have you. And I think you were still Splitter at the time, but you had submitted this work in progress version of Hot Girl Summer. It's been a while since I've heard it though, and I've not heard the final version. So I was waiting till I listened to the whole EP. So here we go, the full release of Hot Girl Summer.
Hot Girl Summer is literally a mindset. It's a mindset, okay?
That's right. Yeah. Very cool build though. Imagining this part live, like I would be hyped. Yeah, I do remember the sound coming in here, the main drop. Yep. Yeah, this was the first. I didn't know we were gonna be runThis at the time, but this was the first runThis song I technically heard. A version of it, at least. I will say this one doesn't wow me. Like compared to getnawty, I think getnawty hits a little harder for me, since they're more comparable in terms of the presentation of them. I love the build and sort of the vibe of this one, but the drop of this one, or at least the first drop. I guess I haven't heard the full version of this, so I'm gonna hold my thoughts actually. I remember this. I'd take it back. I mean, this part is cool. This part's unique. It's got this like, I don't know. The drums are cool. The percussion's cool. I'm pretty sure everything moving forward is new. Yeah. It's interesting because the build in the beginning and this bridge here, they don't even sound like they would transition into the genre that this song is. But like, it still feels like part of the same song. It's really unique. But yeah, I think this drop, the first part of the first drop and this part of this drop, don't do anything substantial for me. They feel relatively simple. They feel relatively generic in terms of bass house, other than maybe the sample work, but everything surrounding the drops. And the part with the run this on the beat. Yeah, the initial hits of both drops, I don't think wow me. They very much feel like someone that doesn't usually do this genre, trying out the genre for the first time. So just kind of following the normal flow and structure of a bass house song. It sounds somewhat generic, but it's everything in between where you are able to flex the creativity a little more and bend the genre, bend the rules, step outside the formula a bit where it really shines. So I mixed on that one overall because there's parts that are really admirable and then there's other parts that seem quite forgettable, if I'm being straightforward, especially compared to getnawty. I think getnawty for me as a whole package is slightly above, but I think Hot Girl Summer peaks higher, has higher peaks, but it also has lower lows. So it's up and down for me. To the Stars, I think is still my favorite overall though. Next up is Power with Indra. Wondra. I'm ready. Let's get ready to run this. That's not what he said, but that's what I said. Cool synth in the background. And that grit on the bass, the texture on the bass. Not a fan of the rapping, this kind of rapping. So takes me out of it a little bit. That's more of a personal taste thing though. Oh, that was subtle, but that was cool. The shifting, the vocals panning really quick like that. All right, I don't know what this drop's gonna be. It's again, pieces of this I like, pieces of it I don't. I don't know. But here we go. What are we getting? Oh. Hey. Okay. I'm trying to really take this in and listen to everything, so I'm holding comments at the moment. Okay. I think that's a good drop. I don't think anything about the drop really like, ooh, whoa! You know, it didn't have that quite level of wow for me, but we're still going. Keep it alive, baby. Oh. You're like almost kind of doing the techno trend, but it's not. You're actually putting some effort into it. It actually sounds cool. Wow. See what happens when you actually try? Wild. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right, I've got thoughts for sure.
Yo, my man Sonny on the radio. My man Sonny on the radio.
Okay, sure. Okay. This comment is probably going to make sense for the whole EP, but I'm going to say it now while it's fresh in my brain. I can agree with what you're going for, that especially the past three, getnawty, Hot Girl Summer, and Power, the drops specifically are much more approachable for most people. Like they are more, just presentable, more digestible, more easy to consume and more mainstream. They're not doing anything abrasive. I feel like the people that go to raves a lot, the people like just the light EDM listeners will appreciate this and probably will tune into your music more than they would a Splitter song, for instance. But coming off of someone who really enjoyed Splitter going into Run This, some of the main presentation does come off way more simplistic and more forgettable. But then you still see those touches of like, oh no, you still have that creativity and that talent that we know you for. It's just you're flexing it a little less prominently, a little less frequently. So we got a little taste of it near the end of that second drop there. We do get it with the intros and the bridges for the most part. I think those have been fun. So I'm glad glad that we see those touches. You're not just completely stripping away all of your essence to just be digestible for the masses. You're trying to find that balance, and that is going to take some time. I would like to see a little more of the creativity shine through, which I think To the Stars had a better balance of it. But I do like the second half of this song. I think the second half you were starting to dip your toes in a little deeper into the water and flex the creative juices that I know you for and like you for. So that's kind of where my head's going right now. But we're going to keep on going. We'll finish this up, and then I'll do my final thoughts. Next is Turn Up the Music. You still do intros very well, though. Intros, you know how to do an intro that gets you intrigued. Also, you must have a pretty large sample library at this point. I want you to export a version of your songs with just the samples, like just the vocal samples, just because I want to hear how many there are. I'm freaking ready! Let's go! Turn it up! I could see myself bopping at the club. I could see myself turning up the music. If this came on while I'm in the car, I turn up the music. Yeah, see, again, it's the overall main focus of the drops is digestible, presentable, mainstream stuff, more or less. Mainstream for what you're going for anyway. But then you're like, hey, by the way, you know, I still got my thing. I'm gonna throw those little bongos in there, the little percussion. I'm gonna throw in those samples. You still have your little signature touches. We're just getting started? I don't know about that. We're most of the way through this thing, but okay, let's go. As long as you got the Keep It Alive sample in at least one or two songs, I'm good. I'm good. I know you're in there. I think my overall thoughts will apply to that song as well. So I think we'll just take in this final track and then I'll wrap it all up in a nice little bow for you. So the final track is Confuse Yourself with Electric Dad, which I've heard a couple songs by Electric Dad. So I'm excited for this. I actually know both people in the collab. So let's do it.
I can't keep up with you. You want me, you don't. Why you string me along?
Like these vocals? This one, I'd say, has the most mainstream intro. This sounds like other songs that I've heard. Okay. Now we're changing it up for sure. Now my favorite synth that I've heard on this EP. A little whiny for my taste. All right, final drop of the EP. Let's go. Well, second to last, I guess. Okay. I like this synth. This was kind of cool. I feel like the drums are hitting, they're a little more punchy, or maybe just the nature of the melody kind of makes it, kind of tricks your brain into thinking it's hitting more punchily. I don't know. Punchily? Hey, don't stop the beat. Can't stop the beat. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm a sucker for that song. If you sample that song, I'm a sucker for it. Good use of it too. I think it fits in quite well with the music. What's the name of that band? Mr. something, Can't Stop the Beat. What is that even song? Is that Can't Stop the Beat? It's not called that, is it? Move Your Feet, that's what it's called. It just came to me, like an epiphany. Junior Senior, I knew it was like father-son situation. I don't know what they're called. All right, Junior Senior, Move Your Feet. I love that song. Cool, guitar. Very lovely bridge. I like this bridge. This is unique. This stands out. This doesn't come off as something I've heard before in this type of genre, this type of music. Final drop. Whoa, go. This is what you want. I'm taking it in. I'm bouncing. I can't stop the beat. I couldn't if I try. I can't reach it. I can't. I physically can't stop the beat. Yeah, I'm vibing with this one. I'm vibing with it. Yeah, let's hear it for Run This. Let's go run this. Why don't you try running this? Well, that was ultimate. I think what I was saying earlier still holds true for the whole EP. I think you are accomplishing what you're setting out to do. I think overall this EP is way more digestible, way more approachable for just your average music enjoyer. There's far less, if any, moment that would be jarring for most people. Like, it is just, for the most part, bouncy club music. You can dance to it. You can just vibe out to it. Like, if it came on, someone gave me the aux and I put it on, I don't think many people would be complaining or be upset with what I've put on. Like, it's just good music that will resonate with a lot of people. The Splitter alias really stepped outside the box of what dubstep and that sort of thing could be, which was probably off-putting to some, but for the people that liked it, you would really like it because it was so unique. It had so much character, and it sort of went all over the place at times. You'd be listening to some jazz and then all of a sudden be slammed with just the most abrasive thing you've ever heard. Like, that's definitely gonna turn a lot of people off. But for the people that are here to stay, you were really into it, and it was really cool, and you would love it. But with this, it doesn't excite me the way that some of the Splitter tracks did because it's trying to be more digestible overall. It's taking less risks, I should say. That's probably a good way to put it. This doesn't take the risks that the Splitter songs did. So you don't have those spikes of like, whoa, or at least less of them. With that being said, obviously the production across the board was really good. I don't have any complaints from a production standpoint. The percussion was cool. The sample work was phenomenal. There were samples throughout almost every minute of the song that were done really well. The synths were all great. And again, there were those moments where you get some interesting instruments. You got some interesting guitars in part of it. You do have some switch ups of genre between the drops at times, or there might just be a little section in the second drop of the song that adds that character to it. So there's moments, and this is still a new alias, obviously. So I see the potential, but I'm waiting for you to have that digestibility, but still really throw in those creative touches. I see pieces of it here, but I want to see more of it. You could still be approachable and digestible, but still take risks in between. So I think I would listen to all of these songs. I think these are all good, serviceable, enjoyable songs, but there's less of them that are like, oh, I remember that. Oh, that part, I remember that part, if that makes sense. There's still some moments on here that really shine, that really do stand out. But I think overall, you're doing what you want to do. You accomplish what you're trying to do. And I think that this type of music is going to appeal to a much wider audience than the Splitter alias did. So I think your music, I think the runThis music is definitely going to be more approachable to a larger number of people, get more eyes on the project. And maybe once you build up your catalog, you could start branching out a little more, breaking down the walls even more than you already have. I'm glad that each song on here was a little different. A lot of them had that bass house, dancey, upbeat energy, but we did get some other little tastes of different genres as well. So keep on flexing the creativity, keep on putting your little touches on the music. Don't be afraid to bend the rules a little more, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So the EP gets an approval from me, but I wasn't caught off guard the way I was with some of your previous work. But I think that's kind of to be expected. I will say I'm more excited about runThis than I was just hearing getnawty and HOTGIRLSUMMER. Now that I've seen more of what the vision is, I am much more excited to see where it continues to go. So keep on doing your thing. You're still obviously incredibly talented. And I'll probably throw these into a playlist and they'll come on and I'll be jamming out to them. But I want you to continue to impress me. Keep on finding ways to innovate on the genre. Now that you've dipped your toes into this new space, let's see what you can really do. But what did you guys think? What do you think of the runThis alias? What did you think of Ultimate? And what should I check out next? Again, if you're a producer and want to participate in some of the challenges that I got going on or get your music featured on the channel, be sure to join the Discord. A quick thank you to my patrons. I really appreciate your support. If you want early access to my videos, bonus content every single month, uncut versions of my reactions, and help support me, the channel, and fund the competitions that I'm running, be sure to check out the Patreon. Links in the description. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and keep on jamming out, my dudes. Peace.